to the Thetford Council meeting on the 29th of October. Before we actually start the meeting proper, I would like us to give 1 minute silence and remember one of our ex-town councillors, Colin Burnett, who recently sadly passed away. Colin on the council was a force of nature. I think he was the fastest seconder I'd ever met. But can we have a minute silence? Please stand and have a minute silence, please. Thank you very much. Respect is always wanted. Okay, we'll carry on. The first item on the agenda, 35724. Apologies for absence, please. Carol?
Councillors Evans, Jefferson, Jersey, Cambridge, and Oxford.
Thank you very much. Is there any others? Okay. 35824 to agree the minutes of the last full council meeting held on the 8th of October. Sorry, the extraordinary full council meeting held on the 8th of October. All those agreement? Agree? Anyone against? Thank you. 35924, declaration of any disclosable pecuniary interest. No. Thank you very much. Okay. 36024, we now move on to the public participation. This is a 15-minute session, and each person is allowed 3 minutes. No more.
Like you know, the problem.
Designated time for public participation 15 minutes, and individual members of the public and county and district councillors who are not Thetford Town councillors are entitled to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes. Thank you. Who's first? Please hands up. Yes, ma'am. Your name, please.
My name is Ned, I'm an artist.
Your name is sorry?
My name is Ned, and I'm an artist, and I once spent a week in this room painting about 15 years ago, as I think Stuart Wright will remember. I worked on the Thomas Paine project in 2009. I painted in Thetford Grammar School. I worked with Susan Glosser. I have a Thomas Paine portrait in the library. I worked at the Charles Burrell School. I went to Thetford Nursery School in about 1966-67, and I used to climb the mound as a boy as a rite of passage before you put that monstrosity outside. I've been writing to you and Stuart, who was previously the mayor, 3 or 4 times. None of you have replied to me. I bought my letter for you, sir. I've written to your MP, I've written to the Thetford Council. I want my painting of Thomas Paine returned. And I want to know where Charles Burrell is, and I want that meeting returned as well. I'm absolutely disgusted that I can't buy a poll anymore. That was in 2022. There is no climate of urgency. That was my initial issue. I then attended one of your meetings quietly, politely, and listened, and discovered the obscene sexual education going on with primary school children. In the bookshops. There's nothing I can do as much as I vote for the government always gets in. I've never voted Tory, Labour, Green or Lib Dem. But this is my hometown, and mostly speaking, I was under Matt Hancock's jurisdiction, and now we have a Labour MP, Prisley, who also doesn't reply to my letters because they've changed the bank accounts to money. This is a letter to you. Am I going to walk to you and give it to you now?
Before you go any further, I can assure you that I have never ever received a letter from you.
Well, I have delivered them by hand to Carnegie.
Well, I have never had it. I'm like yourself. No, I'm like yourself. I'm a local boy like yourself, and I came down Castle Hill on a bread basket when there's a rite of passage. So, so in a bread basket.
Regardless.
Okay, that's not pointed time. If you leave the letter with the security, I'll collect it later. Thank you very much. Is
There's a photograph in there of the paintings. Stuart certainly received my letter, I assume. I didn't hear anything.
No.
I haven't heard anything from Terry Jerlin. I haven't heard anything from Thetford Council. I painted in the Carnegie room. I've contributed to this community on numerous occasions. You've never replied.
Ned, may I just respond? I did receive your letter and it was passed to...
You did receive my letter?
I did receive your letter and it was passed to our council staff to try and ascertain where the picture was. As I understood, we were going back to you with a response. I also inquired at Thetford Library about the Thomas Paine painting there.
Thetford Library, that's great, which I can pick that painting up. I've spoken with Kate. But I want to know where the Charles Barrow is and I want it returned.
Well,
I don't want to be associated with these degenerate policies that you're implementing.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for bringing this up. Next person, please. Next question.
Right, Mr. Hassey, on camera on the 30th of July, I just thought I'd add that question. You blatantly lied.
No.
Blatantly, he was on camera on the 30th of July. Mr. Hassey, about the email. You lie, Alan. That's all they do.
I did reply to John. We did reply to John.
Mr. Hassey.
Yes, John, I have seen. We did.
After Alan, you lied blatantly in front of everyone on camera.
We did.
30th of July.
He wrote me.
Yeah.
Don't try and get out of here.
I'm trying to get some information. Could you just be quiet for a minute, please? Yeah.
He sent me an email to say that to thank me for responding to his email. I didn't respond to that because I didn't see the purpose of going, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. So his initial email, we did respond to, it was sent recorded mail.
Okay, his initial email was responded to. I'm really sorry, that's not
Just, what's the next question?
Okay, next question, please. Name, I know who you are, but can you tell me? Your surname as well.
Since 2021, we've been coming to you guys here on Prime Meeting, President, asking you questions, many questions which we don't get answers for. You give you documentation about climate change, why that's a hoax and not real. We give you documentation on the centralisation of children in schools, and we give you documentation on vaccine damage, vaccine death. Not once have you answered us any specific answer given at all. So my question to all of you is, what gives you the right to be a Thetford Town Councillor when you choose to ignore the people of Thetford?
Okay. If you, Miss Laquette, if you shout again, you'll receive a verbal warning. Okay? If you shout again, you'll receive a verbal warning. Okay, yes? Right, you're now going to get a verbal warning. Okay? Okay. All right, thank you, Jeff, for your questions on that. What gives us the right to make decisions? The fact we were elected in. My majority was nearly 3,000, which is okay. You know, we have been elected in to make decisions that we feel. It's not just me; we all make them. We thank you for your questions. You know, I can't personally. I can't.
That doesn't answer the question about
I can't answer a question about vaccine, vaccinalisation of children, the climate. I cannot do that myself, okay? Thank you. Next question, please. Who's next? Next question, please. Next question, please. Your time's up, Jeff, sorry.
You can't just say that you've been voted in. We're not getting the correct answer and you deliver it to us.
The lady with the cap on, you're getting a verbal warning as well, okay? Who's next, please? Mark?
Just to back this gentleman up, some of you sit around the table where councillors with me when I was actually elected. Now, one of the things that I used to do was bring up what was happening nationally, and I was always shouted down and told that that didn't affect us in Thetford. Thetford was only about local issues. And what you have done, especially the Labour people, since you got into power, you've followed the initiatives nationally. And the national initiative, especially from the whips of the Labour and the Conservative Party, are to push the green and the climate crisis. Consequently, you've now taken the £30,000 of our money and put it in the climate crisis pot. And the people at the top of your parties are following the direction of the legs of the West, the UN, Agenda 30, they've all took over control of your parties at the top, and that is against the people locally. Now, what we need you to do is to stop acting at the national level, put your local heads on. You have got the power to move that surplus 30 grand, which you obviously think the majority of you is surplus infected. To keep the people happy, you need to have a vote and put that money into a crisis pot for the pensioners as it gets colder in Thetford. We've got the ability to look after them. We've been around all the other towns in the local area, all the parishes, all the councils. Nobody has got a climate crisis. It's only Thetford in isolation. You need to move that money and allocate it. I thought the clerk was going to come back to us. She hasn't come back. But we need you to have a debate on the £30,000 going to the pensioners. Can you answer that?
Let's pause for a minute. Madam Clerk?
I've come back to you twice. I've got a recorded message, because I recorded myself giving you a message back where I gave you 8 different dates where I could attend a meeting. You did not respond. So I'm sorry, but that is incorrect.
My apologies if I missed that.
8 times.
The government's taking it off me. However, can we get back onto the main question? Will you have a debate on moving the £30,000 from the climate crisis pot into a pot to look after the pensioners of that who are losing their winter allowance as needed, as and when?
No.
We did ask for this at the last council meeting and you obviously not.
Okay, it is the decision of council, and we can't undo that for now. What we can do is when we have the town meeting, yeah, you can have a thing called a parish poll, and then you can try it then.
Well, we don't want to do a parish poll. We want you as councillors to act for the public in Thetford. It's not nationally at the Labour Party and Conservative Party level.
Okay, there are 2 things with your statement. On Thetford Town Council, we are not whipped. You should know how individualistic I am. We are not whipped.
You've all voted for the 30 grand.
Well, but I agree with it.
Believe it.
I don't agree with things, to vote for things I agree with. I don't know why. I thought, oh, sorry. Right, that's
Can we suspend the
You
meeting?
also agree with the 30,000.
He's 15 minutes.
We're going to have to suspend the meeting, I'm afraid, because members of the public keep shouting over us. Thank you.
Are you all right to do that?
The meeting is suspended, okay?
What's suspended mean?
We pause one, we reconvene. Next time we go on.
Good.
And that's when we do the job.
Have you filmed it? Made sure it's filmed.
Then pay the commission.
Restart the meeting.
Does he actually own it?
When I got suspended,
I'm going to restart.
no, not yet. 15 minutes is up. We don't cancel.
We don't have 15 minutes, like I said, it's about, and then we have about 3 minutes where we.
I have a nice glass of chilled white wine waiting for me at home.
Right, okay, we're going to resume the meeting again now. We've got 6 minutes left for public questions. Who's next, please? Name, please. Yeah, Anderson.
I don't have a state name, so just what's point. Okay, so basically it's sort of following on from Mark's comments. Now, you said that you left messages for him. Now, believe me, we can't get hold of him either. Because his job is up on a roof and we can't get hold of him anyway. But going back, I mean, it's been months now since you declared your climate crisis. And how many times I've been up here saying, well, can you give us the evidence? And none of you have actually given us the evidence. When Alan Walker was in your seat, he never replied to me. He just said, I'm being vexatious. I'm not being vexatious. I would just like some clarification to back your claim. Because if this was in a court of law, and you declared your climate crisis and your climate emergency, let's say, can you provide us with the evidence? And you wouldn't be able to do it. Your case would have been dismissed months ago. So I ask you once again, you've taken 30 grand from the public purse without consultation. You say that you haven't got the powers to put it back. Have any, actually, I won't say have any of you, because I know record law does research. Have any of you got any evidence to back your climate declaration emergency?
Going back to the consultation, it was in our manifesto that we was elected on.
This is about 30 grand now.
That was part of our manifesto that we was elected on.
Have you got any evidence to back your claim?
Yeah. We are going to spend 15,000 of our 30,000 gone on a bus shelter on the Norwich Road with a living roof.
The other 15 hasn't been spent.
No, the other 15 hasn't been spent yet. Can you please be quiet? This man's talking. No, you're not stood up. You're not told us your name. You're not taking part in the thing correctly. Okay. Carry on.
So my frustration is over months and months and months, you still have answers. It's the same thing that Jeffrey pointed out earlier. You don't actually answer anything. So have any of you got any evidence to back your claim?
Yes.
Because the thing is, last time when I was here,
I'm going to look at it. Okay. Wait, I can assure you. Yeah, we are now going to have to
back their claim.
Okay, Vic, I'll come to you. Right, Bob. What I will do now, I will go away with some bit, and I will look into the evidence myself now. Okay?
Can you make some notes?
Yeah, I've got things written down. You might have to give me forgiveness till after Christmas and the New Year because of all the stuff coming up. Really busy.
Yeah. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. They're the bigwigs in all this, and even they haven't declared climate.
Okay, but I will assure you, I will look at both sides. Okay? Councillor Peters?
Through the chair, could I ask Mr Taylor to please turn the light off again? It shines.
You got your store shining.
It was mentioned last meeting, and I'm sorry, I can't accept that that's fair.
We've got about 2 minutes left. We need a time on the day.
Yeah, we do.
Has anybody got some sunglasses?
One more question.
One more question, please. We haven't got long left, so be quick.
Okay, your question.
Okay, then, thank you very much. We'll move on. Okay, we move on now to 361, the Mayor's report. It's been a really hectic month. I've done some incredible things. I've met some great children, learning difficulties, SEND, etc., etc. I'm always totally amazed by their adaptability, their forbearance, and their strength, how they cope. It's incredible to see. Also, with the Charles Burrell Museum. Thank you. Also, the Charles Burrell Museum on Saturday morning, there's a closure thing. The Charles Burrell Museum is one of the jewels in Thetford's crown. We got to look. I thank again the volunteers for their hard work. Without it wouldn't be there. And this applies to nearly all the organisations in Thetford.
Mr. Mayor, I filled in on one of those engagements by going to the civic reception in Great Yarmouth, the new mayor of Great Yarmouth. Just to say that the reception was held on the Time and Tide Museum. It was really interesting from the point of view historically and local. To visit the museum, see there's a lot of history there. I fully recommend anybody going that way to give them a chance, give them a visit. There's plenty going on there. I particularly was found of the fact that it was very old building, very well preserved, and you could still smell the salt from the fisheries in the museum, which was very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right, we move on now to 36224, Town Council representatives on other bodies. I don't think Councillor James is in. No, okay, so we've just got over the nothing report. Hang on, come on. Eric, Councillor Land.
Thank you, Mr Chair. Last week I represented Thetford Town Council on at an Anger and Bloom seminar hosted in Bury St Edmunds. It was a very worthwhile event. We were able to speak to judges of Anger and Bloom, and we feel there's every chance, given the knowledge imparted, that we might be able to move from the silver gilt that we did very well to win and go on to win gold next year. I also, at Breckland Council, asked a question of Cabinet member responsible for fly tipping about the state of certain parts of the Abbey estate in Thetford and what they feel their responsibilities will be once we get a different system at household recycling sites where you have to book in. The answer I got didn't really give us very much. That's all I've got to report. Thank you.
Okay, next, Councillor Peters. Is that nice?
Playing music.
Can you find who's doing that? Okay, Councillor Peters.
Thank you, Chair. Just want to report back that at the meeting we had last month, I said that I would be going in to have a chat with the British Legion about the disjointment between the British Legion and the British Legion Club. That meeting on the 5th of November.
Thank you. David, any? No? Mac? Oh, sorry, Councillor McDonald.
Thank you, Chair. I'd just like to report on the Safety Thetford Action Group. We have our next meeting, which is within a week or so, but this follows up from the SNAP meeting that was held here last, where the Police and Crime Commissioner attended. She has since come back to us and has revitalised some of the stuff that we're doing in Thetford, and she realises that it's an important place and therefore is getting a little bit more attention. So I'm delighted that she's taken an interest in it. The next Safer Neighbourhood Action Panel meeting will be held on Monday the 18th of November in Wheaton at 6:30. If anybody wishes to put their points forward and keep Thetford in the spotlight, then I encourage them to attend. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Wright.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Whilst not an official representative of Thetford Town Council, I did attend the Cluniac conference. This is an annual get-together of Cluniac sites across the UK, and this year was held at Rest Park, English Heritage Store in Bedfordshire. We discussed a number of matters, mainly about the ongoing idea of a World Heritage status for the Cluniac sites, which has been masterminded by the French and Spanish sites. It's still ongoing. They have been to Thetford. I did host them when they came here, and hopefully they're still gathering evidence for that. It was quite useful to go to Rest Park, where it's English Heritage Store, which has a number of the artefacts from Thetford Priory held there, and it's hopeful that we could have some of those back on display in Thetford, maybe through the Heritage Master Plan that we're looking to get together, and be mindful that those assets are there and possibly could be displayed. But if anybody's got any further questions back, I'll talk to you later. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Breton.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I sit as a representative on Thetford Music Project. Just a notification from their AGM that I attended. They are having their Christmas concert with all the children and their learners taking part, and families are encouraged, family visitors, everybody is encouraged to attend. It will be in the Carnegie on the 8th of December, starting at 2 p.m. It's a great project. It supports the music and the children locally. So I encourage everybody to come down and take a look and buy a ticket and take part in it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I attended the OSC at Thetford last week, but I'll talk about that under car parking charges on the agenda. Okay, 36324, Town Clerk report. Is there any questions from the Town Clerk? So, Councillor Land.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'd just like to thank the Town Clerk for her fantastic organisational skills and producing this document in such quick time. I think it's a real tour de force. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. 36424, update to standing orders. Deputy Town Clerk.
We had to update standing orders because of our new participation policy. It's just the same as our participation policy showing the highlights. I said that the participation policy is included into our standing orders. Whoever that is, can you turn it off, please? The participation policy is a new policy that we've included into our standing orders, and it's just an amendment.
Thank you very much. Okay. Good. Okay. We have a proposer and a seconder, please. Councillor Hand, Councillor MacDonald, all those in favour? Anyone against? Any abstentions? Thank you very much. 36524, the car parking charges that Brecon Council want to impose.
Said whose bright, the lady said whose bright idea was it to introduce car parking charges?
I could be political, but I won't be. But I can tell you for a fact that it's the ruling group at Brecon District Council. It's something to do with the Town Council whatsoever. We are against the car parking charges in Thetford. We are struggling enough as a town already. The last thing we need is any more imposition. It's also an unfair tax on people who work in the town centre. It will cost them extra money. It's not great, it's not good, but we should fight against it. Councillor Wright has a few words he'd like to speak, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I did ask for this to be an agenda item so that we as a town council can give representation to Breckland. Obviously, Breckland have made a decision to impose car parking charges, but there are a number of matters that I think we need to try and get some kind of help in terms of why we're getting charged more than the other market towns, why our residents who have parked for decades on adjoining car parks will now find themselves, as drafted, the permits won't be 24/7, they will be up to lunchtime, and then you'll have to pay for 2 hours or move your car. But also, it's the voluntary sector in the town where we've got a lot of people who pay to travel here. I have circulated councillors with a letter that we have sent from the Dan's Army Museum, but it also reflects other voluntary organisations within the town in terms of their volunteers come from afar, they're paying their own petrol to get here, and then suddenly they're going to get charged to do that. We think we may lose some of our volunteers, and no doubt others will think twice about coming to volunteer their time. There's further costs. So I think we need to try and get some kind of permit system to allow those voluntary organisations to have some kind of way of getting the parking charges deferred initially, but I'm not sure how it's going to go going forward. Obviously, Breckland have made their decision. They are looking to get a cash cow here, and I can't see them turning back. But in the short term, I think we do need to soften the blow by getting some permits in place, and I would hope that the town council can get behind that. There are other market towns in Breckland, some of which are looking to, Watton's a bit more geared up to doing something to resist this. The other market towns don't seem to be able to get too worried about it. I've asked the town clerk to sound out the other clerks to see where we are in terms of support from the other market towns. But I hope as a result of this evening's meeting, we can get a response to say what we would like as a town council to try and minimise the impact upon the voluntary sector within the town.
Thank you very much. Individual council.
Sorry?
Do the car parks belong to the people of Thetford, or do they belong to Breckland as a business?
Don't answer.
Do the car parks belong to the people of Thetford, or do they belong to Breckland as a business? That's what you need to find out, Mr.
No, they belong to Breckland.
Oh, if they're a business,
Sorry, not public things over. I can write it down and send it to me.
If you really
Okay, Stuart. No, you couldn't. No. Sorry, Bob, not doing this.
If you are really against the parking, why don't the council get behind a strict do not pay programme? The town will love it.
I'm with obviously Breckland District Council that have Breckland District Council have put these proposals in place, and I can assure you that Thetford Town Council are totally against any move that they want to charge on car parking, particularly School Lane car park, which is one of the many free car parks across the town, which will become a pay and display. And the one particular problem at School Lane is that it's served by the surgery and the community groups that use the library to support young people, the elderly and the lonely. It's also clear that the local motorists are being used as a cash cow, both through paying more parking and being caught out by the new parking rules, which will be imposed by Breckland District Council. Local businesses rely on accessible parking to attract customers, and there are concerns that creating parking charges will have a detrimental impact on trade. We urge Breckland District Council they will reconsider this policy and ensure that parking regulations do not unfairly target those who live and work in our town.
car parks belong to very much the business, or do they belong to the people?
Mr. Blackburn, sorry, Councillor Blackburn.
No, I didn't say anything.
I thought you had your hand up. Vic?
It's Vic.
We've already said that we are against this, and now they've actually put the actual charges and made them public. It works out that some people that would be working in the town come into town to work. We're not a massive area, but a lot of people come into town to work. They will be taxed by £22.80 a week just to come to work, and that will make the idea of actually working, it could make it unaffordable. And I think it's wrong, it's short-sighted, and with all the other aspects of the heritage that we're trying to push the heritage and get visitors in, I just think it's a wrong decision, and we need to do all we can.
I've been on Radio Norfolk talking about this. I'm completely opposed to any charges. The town isn't especially thriving at the moment. It will add as a real dampener to the economic prosperity of the town. There's no doubt about that. The unfortunate thing is that I started a petition against the car parking charges, which has nearly 5,000 signatures to its name. The only people I've met yet who are for the car parking charges sit on the benches at Breckland District Council. I haven't met anybody else who wants car parking charges, and this feels completely iniquitous and a bad deal for the town of Thetford. Thank you.
Right, we got, okay, I was at the overview and scrutiny thing in Breckland for my sins last week.
This is turning into a mob.
Who's called? Who is it? Jeff, can you be quiet, please? You can't speak till you have a verbal. Don't say any more. I don't want to give you a verbal warning. I'm going to have to. Okay? Can you be quiet, please? Okay. I went to the Breckland overview and scrutiny meeting last week for my sins. We are a minority group on that council, on that committee. The consultation will come into the market towns. There will be stalls on the market where you can make your opinions clear. Breckland have told us they're going to do this. They're going to come and ask for your opinion. Okay? The trouble is that they have decided that the parking charges... Can you sit down, please? No, I don't want to sit down. Okay, you're in public warning as well then, verbal warning. Can you sit down, please? You only get 3 minutes at the school. You know, so I went along to the meeting there. We tried to make our opposition clear. The consultation, we wanted the consultation document, when it's complete, to be brought back to the Overview and Scrutiny Commission so we could look at the final document. We were outvoted by the majority party. So the document is going through. It will then come out without any alterations from the opposition or anyone else to see. There's lots of different bits in it of what you can have your opinion on. There'll be questions on how much should you be charged, which car park should be free for an hour, do you think any car park should be free at all? They haven't put on it, do you think there should be no car parking charges, which is a surprise. We also put the option forward that possibly to cover Breckland's alleged shortfall of £450,000, we should put £1 on the council tax, which would cover everything, and that would alleviate that kind of problem. Then everyone, they wouldn't have to do this. But it didn't work. We have officers at Breckland who are somewhat short-sighted. We had a meeting with some who said we don't have an on-street parking problem in Thetford, which I thought was really weird. You should walk along Old Market, Brayman Street, Station Road, etc., etc. But I can assure you that we are anti this car parking thing. We will fight it to the end. The trouble is that we are a minority group on Breckland Council. There's only 12 against nearly 30 other councillors, so we can't do much about it. Mr. Councillor Stirrup. I'm sorry, I can't, no, sorry. Talk to me afterwards, all right? Come and see me afterwards. I'll speak to you afterwards, all right?
Thank you, Chair. May I ask when Breckland released the information of public participation, we share that
from the council to the public, so we encourage as many people to attend that as possible, ourselves as councillors included, but to push it out to the wider public as well.
No problem at all.
Thank you.
Who owns the car park, Mr. Mayor?
Okay, right. Sorry, Councillor Brett.
Thank you, Mayor. Very briefly, I think this is one of those unique situations and issues that sort of unite all of the councillors across the table, despite of, all our different ideas and personalities. But it is one thing we all seem to become to consensus and be unanimous on, is that we all think that having car parking charges is not good for Thetford. So this is the good point that comes out of this. We are on board with your opinions and we hear it from, we are in agreement with that. However, it is not up to us to make a decision. We can try and contest it, we can try and lobby against it. And secondly, by the time the Breckland Council does a consultation, if there's enough numbers and enough of us being participating enough to tell them no, they will certainly have to take that into consideration, or to a certain extent, which we can only hope. But it is up to them. If the majority there in the council has voted to introduce those charges, I'm afraid it's not within our power to overturn them.
It is. It is. Because this will be a turning point.
Afterwards.
This will be a turning point.
Councillor Brindle.
We're on. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think we've been very kind to Beckland so far in this discussion. Actually, things are worse than has been said. I'll give a couple of examples of what I mean by that. The first is that when we questioned Beckland Council senior members, the ones who were proposing to introduce the idea at Beckland Council, one of them said, we asked them, what was the cost of setting up this new car parking scheme? And one of them said, we don't know yet. Now, would you seriously imagine that they would carry out a costly job like this without knowing what the cost is? I find that astonishing. And secondly, I think it's astonishing also that towns it is being proposed that each town should have different charges imposed in different car parks. You would imagine that if that was done, the richest town would pay the most. Which is the poorest town in Brecon? Well, it's Thetford. It has large areas of people who are genuinely poor, living in difficult circumstances. And despite that, the proposal is that Thetford car parks should be more expensive than car parks in all the other towns. So what I'm hoping will come out of this meeting is that those of you who are listening here, members of the public, will be determined to make life as difficult as possible for Brecon. In the first place, by taking part in the consultation that's been mentioned. And in the second place, why wait for that? Email them or contact them in some other way and tell them what you think about the proposal to make it impossible to park freely and sensibly in Thetford for the sake of, they're not sure how much money it will cost to set it up. Do your part, please. If you do, if enough members of the public do, we can still stop this crazy idea.
Sure. Right, okay. What we can do now, Jeff, please. What we can do is possibly, is we can look at that the town council could possibly take over a couple of car parks, which then remain free because we wouldn't charge you. But this is something we've got to look at. So what we're going to do now is ask for how the councillors feel we should respond to this iniquitous Brecon proposition.
You look at the clarifications at the same time, Mr. Mayor.
Be quiet, please. Right, Mark, I'm afraid we're going to have to give you a yellow card. I used to be. Okay. Right. How would you like us to respond? Matt, Councillor Stewart, please.
May I suggest that we again send an objection back to her? And maybe also reach out to Brecon Council for the possibility of us taking on car parks. So forgive me if I've got the name wrong, the one closest to the church. Is that White Hart? Specifically that one, because it fits in with the restaurant and the church. But if we can reach out to them and see the process which we go under to take over those car parks, so we can then keep them as free.
Councillor Peters, please.
I think what we've got to watch is that we don't take on an odd couple. We've got 16 car parks. We take on an odd couple, make them free. They're going to be packed out. The other car parks get charged for. Yeah. If it's something we're going to look at taking on, then I think we need to look at it very carefully. Obviously with cost, but also with maintenance and how we do it fairly, so that all areas are fairly treated.
Mr. McDonald.
Thank you. I agree with Councillor Peters. There's a good example of this already in one car park in Thetford, near the bus station. They charge in there, nobody ever uses it. We could end up with a very similar situation where hours are overrun and we can't manage it. Don't forget, with any car park, that if we own it, we've then got to maintain it, do the tarmac, all the rest of it. So whilst I am in every way in agreement that we should do our utmost to make sure that car parking remains free here, we are financially not able to take on a great deal. So any idea is good, but I would be very cautious about doing that.
Okay, just through the mix, Councillor. Thank you. Okay, right. So would the councils agree our position to move forward? We'll all sign a letter to Brecon saying we're anti the thing, possibly, and so then alternative proposals. Councillor Land.
No, I was agreed.
I'm sorry. Okay. Can we have a proposal in a second, please? Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. Right. 36624 parish partnership bid. Leave for the town clerk, please.
Every year we get the option to apply to the county council to have an infrastructure injection of money. This year we're looking at a bus stop to go on the Norwich Road. We've been on a site visit today with the county council officer and he believes that would be a good place to put the bus stop. It will stop all of the problems with people getting wet. People have somewhere to sit. There's a lot of elderly people that use that bus stop. It's a direct link into Norwich. Can you turn that off, please? The bus is a direct link into Norwich and it's at the moment £2. So it's a good choice for people and a good option.
Thank you very much. Okay. Right, can we have a proposal second? Anybody want to go ahead with the partnership? And any questions?
Yeah, I think.
Can't keep that going like this.
Only a couple of agenda items left. Let's ride it out.
Okay then, if there's any more interruption with that, then we'll have to suspend and finish the meeting on break. Can you please let us get through it? I'd really want to talk to some people afterwards, and if we do that, I can't. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I think this is a really good idea. I think I'm right in saying there's only currently one bus shelter in Thetford. The bus stop on Norwich Road is a very used bus stop. I see a lot of people queuing there as I go past at all times of the day. I think there is a real need for it, and the fact that we're doing something a bit special with it, I think makes it all the better. Getting that grant, I think makes it a no-brainer. I think this is a very good scheme. Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? Any proposing seconder, please?
Opposed.
Right. Second, please.
What?
This is that on.
So she needs to be present. Public participation is a time.
Okay, sorry, the public participation was a time to speak, not now, I'm afraid. Sorry. Okay, so we're all in.
No, the thing is, the vendor will have to end the meeting, and then he's the man.
We'll get through this.
We want to suspend.
We
want to suspend. We want to suspend.
Okay.
You want to suspend.
I'm really sorry, I'll take a second. Okay, we'll move on now to.
No, Chris,
we want to vote. Yeah, just wait a minute. Okay, all right. I'm really sorry. We're going to have to end the meeting now.
I've never been to the bingo.
Well, I said if we stop, we stop. What was it like last night? Was it more hostile than this? Yeah, there was a busload in, wasn't there? Not enough. I know. Trying to. I mean, I've heard what it was like last night, but I wasn't there. No. No, but we're feeding their enthusiasm. And they love it. I almost feel like the policy of yeah, we get nowhere. We've allowed them. Yeah, we have. When you get to I don't think you have to be my life. I want to know. I want to live so we're actually, this is it, we're done. Oh, by the way, the research I've done means that's all right. If he wants to make a check for you, that's yeah, I remember them. Yeah.
I need to leave the meeting until we can get these there.
Okay.
That's the only way we can.
Yeah.
We can have a conversation with
Are we actually off now? God damn it. You got it all
That is it, but when the 500 replaced. Yeah, that's it. It's when the place replaced, when you don't need then the public staff. The 500 means only council, money. Said the council wants to be German staff. Your company has signed up, please don't leave. You've got the opportunity. How come you never get down to what you need to do? That's why it's an polygraph, all attempts to it, all attempts to say polygraph, I think someone's suspicious.
Right, I've got to remember how to do this again. On this corner here.
Yes, that's correct. And then you flip the page. And that corner there, because this is being bound.
Yeah, this one.
And this corner here. And then
Down the bottom, yeah?
down the bottom there.
There you go. There you go.
That went well. Do you feel like you've been in a fight? You're right.
Turn this off now. I just wanted to keep all the noise going for the police.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure. I'm okay.
You actually did very well.
No,
Chris, no, you did very well.
You did.
No, I think
I think what we do is we have an extraordinary